In 1984, toy manufacturer Hasbro devised a children's TV show to sell their new toys. Then in 2007, director Michael Bay brought the franchise to a new audience. And since then, BumbleBee, Megatron and Optimus Prime have been firm favourites of film fans. So when the next instalment of the franchise was being filmed in Gosport, it was hard to keep it under wraps. And I visited the Submarine Museum to find out what happened when Hollywood came knocking. The Submarine Museum in Gosport is the spiritual home of submarines and is based next to HMS Dolphin. As well as being a tourist attraction, it often plays host to film crews wanting to use HMS Alliance as a location. And last year, director Michael Bay took over the site for the filming of his latest blockbuster.
The most important attraction here is our very own HMS Alliance, and how many places can you actually visit a submarine and walk on board with a tour from an ex-submariner? It's been here since 1973 when it was a training ship, but actually was floated onto the concrete cradles in 1983 when the museum opened. We have quite a few film crews, and most recently was Michael Bay and the Transformers team.
1,000 years we've kept it hidden. The secret history of Transformers. Here on Earth. Now, to save our future, we must unlock the past.
You couldn't move for film crew. There was over 200 film crew plus the actors. They had catering set up in the car park. Film crew were just so lovely, really inviting. The first thing the guy on the gate said to me was, "Go and get yourself some breakfast. Feel free to wander around on site. Just if someone yells, stop. Just get out of the way because we're filming." The first thing that we watched them film was we managed to stand by our submersible, and they had two supercars on site, one of which was BumbleBee, and they were parked just next door in Fort Blockhouse, and they actually revved up the engines and took them down the walkway and screeched to a stop outside the museum. So we watched Mark Wahlberg run up to the submarine something like 10 times. Anthony Hopkins was so lovely. He mingled with all the staff. He shook our hands. He let us have our photograph taken with them. We spoke to him and asked if he'd been to Portsmouth before. It turns out he's been to HMS Victory. We invited him back. We showed him our X-24 submarine, which is the midget submarine, in the gallery. And he was just genuinely really interested and asking lots of questions.
You are needed, sir, urgently.
You want to know, don't you, why they keep coming here?
So is this a kidnapping or her first Transformer experience?
It's both, really.
There were a few additions. They had put some bollards outside that said Westminster on, so clearly they're pretending we're not in Gosport, sadly. They did put a red phone box outside the museum, just in case there's any confusion about whether you're in England or not. And they put a fake ticket booth and some turnstiles in. However, I'm told that it looks very much like the museum, like HMS Alliance. They did keep the name Alliance, and they painted it onto the side of the submarine. We had to shut off to the public. We weren't allowed to say why. We just had to say there was filming. Unfortunately, the film crew told everyone that it was Transformers, even though we weren't allowed to say so. And then they put BumbleBee outside, so that kind of gave the game away.
For my world to live, yours must die.
And has this new notoriety made a difference to the museum?
It has, and it's great because so many people on social media were talking about it for that whole week and how great it was for Gosport. And to know that we'll actually go to the cinema and see what we saw.
So next time you visit the museum, pay close attention to the submarines. There's more to them than meets the eye. This is Richard Stringer for That's TV.